when he was injured in the beginning, after he came back, like first couple games, it wasn't that good. But now, since we played a long time together, like it's getting better and better.
Because LeBron can't help the hole, the clear deficiency that's in Luka's game. He's an atrocious defender, and he's not in great shape, and LeBron doesn't have the four-quarter energy he used to.
The Lakers, when Luka and Austin are on the court without LeBron, are awesome. LeBron, of his 23-year career, has the lowest usage percentage of any season of his career right now.
The arena went from stunned silence to full-on buzz in about 3 seconds, because what just happened on that final possession wasn't just a missed shot. It felt like a fissure in the team's chemistry. Trailing by 1 with 6.7 seconds left, the Lakers ran a sideline out-of-bounds play drawn up for Luka Dončić. He came off the screen wide open behind the arc, hesitated, double-pumped into traffic, passed to LeBron, and LeBron fired a contested fadeaway at the buzzer that didn't touch the rim. The Lakers lost 110-109, but the headlines weren't about the final miss. They were about the look, the hesitation, and the drama that followed. Here's the part nobody's talking about. On paper, the play was simple, and the coach, J.J. Redick, confirmed that it was drawn up for Luka to take the shot. Luka himself told reporters he knew he was open, but thought the look was a little bit far. Tried to take one dribble, then picked the ball up and passed. He publicly owned the mistake and said, "That's on me." LeBron's postgame, though, carried a very different tone. He pointedly said, "Obviously, you have to ask Luka what he saw. I thought he had a good look," adding that he was off balance when he received the ball. Language that, whether intentional or not, redirected attention away from himself and toward Luka. Those juxtaposed statements are now the fuel for the fire.
Pairing. Now, the defense has to do with the fact that Luka doesn't defend, Austin can't defend, and LeBron's 41. So, like those...
This is where it gets dangerous. Within hours, a viral tunnel clip started circulating that seemed to show Luka walking off the floor, saying, in a phrase people translated and repeated online, "He told me to pass, I passed." If that's what was actually said, the entire narrative flips. Instead of a cold-footed superstar choking in the clutch, it would be a situation where the veteran asked for the ball, the young star deferred, and the veteran's decision-making, not the young player's indecision, turned a broken possession into a broken possession. But we have to be careful here. The tunnel footage is noisy, viral, and unverified. Outlets covering it note that lip-reading clips can be misread, and the translations may be uncertain. Still, the clip exists in the public sphere. People believe they saw it, and that perception is already reshaping how fans and media interpret the whole sequence. Let's break down the mechanics and the numbers, because that's where nuance kills hot takes. Luka finished the night 8 for 24 for 22 points, and was 2 for 10 from deep, not his usual efficient self, which explains why he told reporters he felt a little bit far. The play itself, however, placed him in his comfort zone, a catch-and-shoot look off a screen, exactly the type of shot Dončić has made dozens of times. If Luka was cold and asked to take an extra dribble to attack, that's a split-second defensible basketball choice. If, by contrast, LeBron started calling for the ball and Luka deferred because his veteran teammate demanded it, that's a breakdown in on-court hierarchy, communication, and role clarity. Either version helps explain why post-game answers diverge so sharply.
LeBron and Luka aren't, because LeBron can't help the hole, the clear deficiency that's in Luka's game. He's an atrocious defender, and he's not in great shape, and LeBron doesn't have the four-quarter energy he used to. It's not LeBron's fault.
This moment didn't spring out of nowhere. It sits on top of a tectonic roster move from a little over a year ago that reshaped the franchise. The Lakers swung a blockbuster trade for Luka Dončić, sending Anthony Davis to Dallas in a deal that stunned the league. Dončić later signed a massive extension that effectively made him the franchise's future cornerstone. In short, The Lakers acquired the young generational star and then signaled he's the long-term focal point. Meanwhile, LeBron, at 41 and still chasing wins on an expiring contract, remains the franchise's living legend. That owner of the future versus guardian of the present dynamic is the pressure cooker behind every late-game possession. The trade and extension context is why fans aren't just debating a buzzer beater, they're debating who the team belongs to. Culture eats X's and O's for breakfast. When two alpha playmakers, a Hall of Famer in his twilight and a generational star entering his prime, share the floor, you either design a strict hierarchy or you risk indecision on the clock. Three elite decision-makers create elegant possibilities, but also produce pauses and second-guessing when who's the closer isn't clear. Coaches can attempt staggered rotations and defined late-clock roles, but those are tactical band-aids unless the players buy into a single voice in the clutch. Last night showed how fragile that buy-in was.
You have to ask Luka what he saw on that, but I thought he had a good look, and it looked like he kind of just lost his balance, didn't have a rhythm with the ball, whatever the case may be, and it kind of allowed him to get back in front of him. I was kind of off balance when he gave it to me. I thought he had a great look, but that's what I look. That's my POV.
This is where young players usually make a mistake. They let pressure and the aura of veteran teammates override instinct. Luka is an exception in many ways. His career is full of fearless late-game shots, but even the best can hesitate when a figure like LeBron begins to verbally assert for the ball in the heat of the moment. If Luka's tunnel comment truly was, "He told me to pass," that suggests a split-second surrender to authority rather than a trusting of one's own read. That's not just a tactical error, it's a psychological one, and coaches have to iron that out fast. If the young star starts associating LeBron's presence with doubt, that seed can grow and bleed into future crunch moments. Now, escalate the narrative. This moment isn't merely about one play or one bad shot. It ties into legacy, hierarchy, and possibly the franchise's roadmap. Dončić was acquired to be the guy who anchors the next dynasty in LA. LeBron has earned the right to demand the ball, but history shows the most successful transitions happen when the elder superstar actively elevates and empowers the successor in high-leverage moments. If LeBron keeps insisting on late possessions in spots drawn for the younger guard, the franchise will face an identity crisis. Continue chasing short-term wins around a soon-to-be past-prime icon, or intentionally pivot so Luka can truly lead without the shadow pulling his footwork? Both paths have costs, and both demand clarity. The public narrative and the private tunnel are now in conflict, and that gap is what will do lasting damage if left unaddressed. Luka publicly saying "that's on me" at the podium while allegedly telling teammates the opposite in private creates a perception problem. Either the team is managing optics, covering cracks for PR, or the players are not emotionally aligned. Either way, trust fractures when actions and words diverge. The coach needs a frank flight conversation, the veteran needs to intentionally cede clutch agency when appropriate, and the young star needs to reclaim his aggression. Otherwise, the Lakers risk repeating this exact sequence under playoff pressure when the consequences matter even more. Final escalation and legacy angle. If the leaked tunnel clip is genuine, Luka's alleged words, "He told me to pass, I passed," don't just change a single game story. They undercut the public framing of accountability that LeBron offered in the press conference. That contradiction forces a hard question. Is LeBron still the leader who creates space for rising stars? Or is he, consciously or not, exerting enough on-court gravity to pull the younger star out of his rhythm? And beyond personalities, what will the franchise choose when the next playoff series turns on a single possession? This is about trophies, not gossip. The way this is handled could either be the hinge that turns a promising season into a championship window, or the crack that widens into a playoff collapse narrative. So here's what I want you to scream about in the comments. Do you believe the tunnel clip? And if you do, is LeBron wrong to have redirected the blame in public? Or do you side with the official accounts, that Luka hesitated because he was cold, and that champions take responsibility? If you say LeBron pushed for the ball and overloaded the play, tell us the precedent. Which veteran has gracefully handed clutch agency over to a younger star and made the team better? If you defend LeBron, show the tape where a veteran's instinct saved a game. Bring the receipts, big-time quotes, slow-mo replays, and layers of context. Don't be neutral. Pick a lane.